So let's step back now and see how to add the two nodes we need for Slack integration. All right, so let's first add the first node, which is a webhook. So let's first explain what a webhook is. At the core of it, a webhook is a very simple idea, right? It is just a digital messenger that allows two different programs, in our case, Slack and NA10, to talk to one another, right? So as you saw in the previous example, we were able to tell Slack, here is the webhook to call NT10 using a URL. And when that slash HR ask HR command is hit, it's just going to call into this webhook or this URL. So we're going to associate this URL. And what I'm going to do first is put it in test mode. I don't have any authentication, but I am using a post command. So I will listen for the test event. So I'm going to go back to, let me just do that again. I will use a test event first. Test URL, listen to it, copy it first. I'll listen to this event. And I'm going to go back to my webhooks, my slash command here. I'll edit it. I'll point it to the webhook on the test side, just so that you can see how this was constructed. So I'll save this. All right, and then now what I'm going to do here is ask it a question, slash what is the overtime policy? Right. So Slack will then go and call the webhook that I associated. So in this, in my NA10 workflow, as you can see here, I was listening to this event and I got this information here that was sent by Slack. So it told me what command I was using and the text. All right, so this is a text that I want. So it's passed that into there. And then so I'm going to hook it up to my QA chain. And now I'm going to tell it, all right, so this text here, I'm going to drag it into here. All right. So I've already done that, but that's how you would associate information. Right. So what's happening is that when Slack detects the slash ask HR command, it's going to call the webhook that's associated, right? So this URL, and then this URL will get information, and it's going to pass this information from what I got from Slack, and it's going to go into here, and I'm going to associate that with the question I'm going to ask in my retrieval Q&A chain, right? All right, now I'm going to create the second node. So I'll add to here a HTTP request. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to, again, choose the post method. And from the URL, what I'm going to do is go back to my webhook. Right at the beginning of the call, Slack has given me another webhook. So this is how I'm going to communicate back to Slack. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to specify this is the URL that I'm going to call into so that Slack knows the response text and is able to then put that as a response from my slash ask HR command. Right, so I'll do that. I'm going to send a body, and inside this body, I'm going to say the text. Right, this is the text value that I want to return, and it's going to have a value that is coming from the retrieval train. So I'll go ahead and then specify here, this is the value. All right. So I'm going to respond by getting the URL, the webhook that Slack has provided me initially when it's called called my webhook, and then I'm going to pass into it this value here that I returned from the large language model. Right. So that's basically the flow. Let's go ahead and test this out. So I will save this, and I will once again put this in listen mode. All right, and I'm going to go back to my Slack channel, and I'm going to say slash ask what is overtime policy, right? So what it will do is that the workflow started. All right, so I see that inside my NT10, this is the text that we got. I'm going to go to my next node here, and I'm going to test the step. All right, I'm testing the step, and you can see here that it's got a response. So in the logs here, what you'll see is that it's actually going through, passing the query, what is overtime policy, and then going to the vector database that I've got the top 5 matches. And then from there, it's embedded that information right into the large language model context. And then finally, it's able to then give me the output. Okay, so I'll execute that step, and then I'm going to go to the next node. And then this node will have the information that, all right, so this text response will have the value that is from the large language model. All right, I'm going to test end-to-end now. I'm going to go back to my webhook, use the production URL. So previously we were testing with a test URL. Now let's use the production one. So I'll copy this. I'll go back to my Slack developer portal, and I'm going to edit my webhook, change this to a production URL. I'll save that. And then I also need to activate this. So I'll activate the workflow now. So it's constantly listening for this webhook. All right. So now that I've done that, I will go ahead and use my command. Okay, so now it's calling into the webhook, and it's giving me this result. Now notice that there is this extra message here. So let's just turn that off because that's good for development purposes, but when we deploy, we don't want that. So I'll just update the first response, add here, no response body. So, all right, I'll then turn this on here, and then I'll save, and then I'll just go back and try it out. Okay, so this message is now gone.